Out of the 20 races that have taken place since the beginning of the season, Lewis Hamilton has won around 7 races so far. But his biggest rival this season, Max Verstappen, in the meantime, has achieved a total of 9 race wins and is already leading the championship by 8 points. After 4 consecutive title wins, this year has been considerably tough for Hamilton, who's looking to defend his title one last time before the new regulations ensure that all teams start right from scratch next year. Now that we're only 1 race away from the season finale, it seems like the team at Mercedes, as well as Hamilton, have something in the works to tackle the threat from Red Bull, not just in the drivers, but also in the constructors' standings. With that said, let's jump right in and take a look at Lewis Hamilton's plans to beat Verstappen for this year's F1 title. Despite having trailed Verstappen for most races, Hamilton has returned back to form, winning both the Sao Paulo and the Qatar Grand Prix in back-to-back finishes. However, much to Hamilton's disappointment, Max was not far behind as he finished second in both races and limited the amount of damage done to his leading position. Speaking at the post-race press conference in Qatar, Hamilton discussed how his race went, saying, "Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. It was pretty lonely at the front. Of course I enjoy those races where you are battling through, but we needed those points today, so a real solid job from the team, just with pit stops with the car. It's been a hell of a year, so to be at this point of the year and to get back-to-back wins is a great feeling, and it puts us in good stead for the next 2. Although he is currently second on the leaderboard, the 7-time world champion's chances of winning another title do look significantly better coming out of Qatar." When quizzed about how he felt about the championship, Hamilton replied, "The feeling feels good. I'm really happy with the car. I feel fit. I feel in the best shape physically that I've been in all year, so that's a positive. The car is feeling better than ever, and I feel positive going into these next couple of races. I think they should be quite good for our car, so I'm looking forward to the battle." The Mercedes W12, driven by both Hamilton and Bottas, has faced some serious reliability issues this year, while in competition with Red Bull RB16B. Valtteri Bottas has taken about 3 grid penalties in just this season alone due to engine-related issues, while Hamilton took on a new engine at Brazil, which has worked out quite well for him considering that he won the race starting from 10th in the grid. Among the 2 power units that are presently in use, Mercedes have opted to go for the one used in Brazil, given that the new power unit can be set up to run at an extreme. The newly laid track at the Jeddah Corniche circuit is said to have some of the fastest straights, which the Silver Arrows team is looking to exploit. Chatting with the press was Mercedes trackside engineer director Andrew Chauvelin, who shed light on the team's engine plans for the next race. "We've seen pretty big swings of performance over the recent races, but if we look to the track in Saudi, I think it should suit us. For Lewis, we have got the more powerful engine to go in the car, so that's just going to give him a useful engine. There are 2 power units that we are racing. Here in Qatar, we had the less powerful of the 2 in the car, due to the nature of the circuit. So that side of it is in a good place at the moment," disclosed Chauvelin about Hamilton's recent power unit. The reigning champion too shared his thoughts about the W12, mentioning, "I should say what I've noticed this year, which is just a fact, is that the car has been very hard to set up. When you don't get the car in the right window, you just limit your potential. So I'm just not able to maximise my ability through the setup not being in the right place, and it's been very hard to get it into the right place." Struggling with the car's performance is just one of Lewis's many concerns. His biggest concern being avoiding any last-ditch attempts from Max to derail his efforts. After all, one of the major controversies this season was the incident between Verstappen and Hamilton in Brazil, which became a huge topic of debate in the F1 community. Lewis shared his own opinion about the entire saga, saying, "If you're on the outside of a car, backing out is the sensible option pretty much all the time in order to see the end of the race. If you're on the inside, there are scenarios where I truly believe I was in the right, when I was almost wheel to wheel with the car." He further discussed the consequences of not backing out and what would have happened if he crashed into Max. stating, "A selfish act where I stick to my point and don't finish the race would cost my whole team their bonus payments at the end of the year." And then there is the work on the damaged car. "I want to be the purest of drivers through speed, through sheer hard work and determination. So there's no denying at the end about what I've accomplished." Apart from their Drivers' Championship campaign, Mercedes are also contesting the Constructors' Championship, which they have won every single year since the start of the turbo hybrid era. At present, Red Bull stands just 5 points behind Mercedes, and if things go their way, may once again return to their previous form. With Verstappen and Perez both finishing on podiums, the boys at Mercedes have a tough fight ahead going into the final 2 races. This is why Mercedes have high hopes from Bottas to put up a fight against Checo for the 3rd position. Even though Bottas is set to move to Alfa Romeo from the next season onwards, he is more than happy to lend a helping hand to Lewis. Commenting, "If there's an opportunity for me to help Lewis with the points, like stealing points from Max, then I'll do it, because I'm not realistically in the championship anymore. I'm a team player, and I'll take one for the team if needed. But my first priority is to always try and win." There's obviously excitement because every point matters so much, but motivated is the word I'd say sums up every team member. Talking about the battle between Max and Lewis, the Finnish driver had his own thoughts to share. Maintaining, "I don't think it's anything personal. It is a competition, and when you're competing hard on track, you're not going to make friends, but Lewis and Max, they're both adults, so they know that is the name of the game. You have that competitive spirit, and we always try to beat each other on track, but also try and respect each other off track as well." Team bosses Toto Wolff and Christian Horner have had a very busy year themselves. This, of course, includes all the appeals that each team has made against each other throughout the duration of this 22-race season. Mercedes have won consecutive titles in the previous years, as well as this year's Formula E Championship, are all set to replicate their success once again in Formula One. Voicing his opinion on how the championship fight has been, Wolff remarked, "The fight happens on all levels. Political, sporting, technical. That's clear. Whoever wins the championship at the end of the year, drivers and constructors, merits the win because it has been on a very high level." His Red Bull counterpart, Christian Horner, feels similarly about how the season has gone so far, given that Red Bull has had a strong performing car and now stand a chance of winning their first championship in nearly 8 years. "It has been incredibly tight. We go into these last 2 races 8 points in the lead of the Drivers' Championship. We've reduced the lead in the Constructors to 5 points. So both are fully in play, and that's fantastic, because now we're at the climax of this World Championship. The next track should arguably favour Mercedes, but at Abu Dhabi, with the modifications made there, who knows?" said Horner, who is confident in Max's ability to bring home the highly coveted trophy. Meanwhile, Red Bull's head of driver development program Helmut Marko believes Hamilton's recent uptick in his performance is nothing but a technical advantage gained by using a new engine and from the rear wing infraction, which cost Hamilton his qualifying position at Sao Paulo. He elaborated on his claim by saying, "In Qatar, we saw that Hamilton's speed advantage was no longer so great. It was more or less within the normal range. We are confident in Max's strength on the street circuits. He won in Monaco and clearly dominated in Baku before crashing out due to tyre damage. I think the driver can still make the difference in Saudi Arabia." With 50 points up for grabs in the final 2 races, both championship contenders are going to try their level best to stake their claim on the big prize. However, there are plenty of surprises in store, especially since these last 2 tracks are new territory for all teams on the grid, and only time will tell who shall get the better of the other. So what do you think about this year's title fight? Will Max finally crown himself king? Or will Hamilton defend his title once again? Let us know below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.